Move up. Why are you so far back?
Oh my god.
What's up, guys? So this video is a video that a lot of our close friends have been interested in hearing about. I believe, and a lot of other people who know us believe, that our marriage is actually not what you're used to. We are open in our marriage, which I like better.
No.
Did you see that? I like the way that sounds. We asked on our social media, which will be linked down below, if anybody had any questions at all, no matter how awkward or how random they may be about our marriage, and we plan on answering those now. First of all, I guess the number one question, which a lot of people had asked, is what do we mean by being open in our marriage? For us, I believe, this is my opinion, I'll let him talk after, but for us, I believe that being open in our marriage just means that pretty much we're open to pretty much anything. If I wanted to have sex with somebody else, I could do that. If he wanted to have sex with somebody else, he could do that. If we wanted to explore together, we could do that.
You had a big hill, and I think which is most important, which like no one ever respects that part, is like having the uncomfortable conversation. Like you gotta have a lot of them, and then like once you get over that little hump, everything kind of smoothed out. But other than that, it's like it's just always gonna be weird. It's like always gonna be a weird thought process.
Yeah. That actually brings me to a question that we were asked. Who brought the premise up first? For those of you who don't know us, we are high school sweethearts. We got together. I was a sophomore and he was a junior. So about coming up on 8 years. We've been together for 8 years. And being that we were so young, there was a lot that both of us hadn't experienced. And actually it was my husband, who was my then boyfriend, who brought it up.
I brought it up first just because it's funny. Like growing up, I got labeled as like the person who probably did everything in high school and all this other stuff. But the funny thing is, in high school, I only had one body. But I was always comfortable like talking about sex or just saying whatever's on my mind. Like it's pretty much like how I was raised, whatever. So then when I met my now wife, when I met her then, like we started dating and stuff, like I knew I always wanted to be with her forever. But then like I had this big like conflict because it was like I haven't done anything. Like whatever you heard or whatever these imaginary people I imaginary slept with, well, let them know I don't appreciate them taking advantage of me without me knowing.
So pretty much he brought it up, and to be completely honest, it was not a good thing.
Shut down.
It was shut down immediately. I mean, I'd had a lot of boyfriends in high school, but I also was I wasn't really jealous. I don't think I was jealous. I think it was just like what's mine is mine, and I don't want you talking to anybody else. Like, how am I, like, why would I do that? Like, it was pretty much like a good, like, 6 months to a year of constant conversation about it, and they were always uncomfortable, upsetting, frustrating. It was not easy. And then I went to college, but I actually graduated earlier, so we both graduated in 2012.
Yeah.
And then I went to college. And during that time, we were technically broken up.
When she went to college, I broke up with her, and I was like, you know what? Then like, all right, let's try and get it done. Then like while you're away.
Yeah, I'll try to get it done. And like kind of during that time, those who know me, a lot of people in the town that we lived in were kind of intimidated by me. So breaking up with me, he thought, and eventually I began to think, might have been easier for him to explore because nobody would want to go near him if I was there. But fast forward, we ended up getting back together. We decided, you know what? We both know this is what we're going to do. We're going to be together forever. So I don't ever want you to feel any type of resentment against me later on. So, let's try it. Let's do it.
But it did not happen. It did not happen immediately.
It did not. It
just
took
because we got back together and there was still a whole lot of uncomfortable conversations before we even had a positive conversation about that.
Yeah. So it was rough, and eventually, it took years and years, years and years and years for us to get where we are now. That was probably 2013, 2014. We didn't start being open on both sides until before we got married, literally. So the beginning of 2017, literally the beginning of 2017, 6 months before we got married. That second time of the round of uncomfortable conversations was brought on by me. And reason being, I did it, at first it started as, you know what, we're about to get married and I want to explore more too. Because although I had relations with multiple people before him, I didn't experience as much as I wanted to either. When I didn't feel scared to talk to him about it, I just didn't want to offend him before we got married.
My biggest problem though too, even addressing a lot of the uncomfortable situations, was I would never want to hurt somebody I love. So then that caused a lot of mess up in conversations and translations of how I would try and get things across. Because the only thing I could be thinking about, instead of getting it out and then we both try and break down what I'm trying to say or explain, I would try and break it down myself and try and explain it best, in a weird type of, it made things way more messier. So it's just better to put it out there as is, and then go at it together from both sides, tackling from both points. And that's just something you just learn with being in a relationship.
Yeah, for so long, and starting to understand each other and know each other more.
Fear is always going to be something, especially if you love somebody.
Exactly.
If you really love somebody genuinely, there's going to be a fear
of hurting that person or letting that person down. So actually, that last conversation was the start of, I guess what you can say, openness in our marriage.
But we didn't just jump into it. We jumped into positive conversations finally about it. There's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of,
miscommunications.
It was you felt resented, or you just, it makes you, I felt like a bad person, because I'm just I don't ever want my wife to think she's not enough for me. And I just, I feel comfortable to tell my wife, I have a problem with this, and I don't want it to conflict in our relationship. So, can we fix this together?
Yeah. Another question is, what are our guidelines? And at this point, right now, I feel like we don't have very many. It started as there was a guideline for everything.
which I think is good.
I think that was the best way for us to go.
Good. I think it's getting into a pool. You don't know the temperature really, so you gotta stick your toe in. Just don't go and jump in there.
You can't. Or it would have exploded and just been terrible.
Yeah. A lot of guidelines when we first started, to give people some ideas, it'd be it could be the person, I just don't like that person's vibe, or I might have the way that person is, they might have malicious intent.
Exactly.
Or they might try and go a step further, but
I feel also certain activities were rules, no oral sex, or for me, kissing was a big thing for me, and I did not want him kissing somebody else. And I think it was just because I felt it was too intimate.
And then oral sex is something that was big, big on me,
you can't do that.
do that.
For each other, we wanted each other to experience the whole experience, and not be contained to one part that I think is okay for you to be okay, for you to do.
Picture of they was oh, you can do it, but you can only do missionary.
Yeah, you can only do that. So
you can't change the position.
That was we
breathe.
Changed a lot about our guidelines in the beginning to now. Next question is, Are we both into women, or is it strictly opposite sex? Both into women. If you don't know me very well, I had plenty girlfriends. Plenty.
Like dating.
Like dating, like full blown girlfriends, like.
Not a trend date. Like not like we really go out. Like
yeah, that's my girlfriend. Like I'll. Fight you over this girl.
People give you the dirty looks.
Yeah.
Like, oh nah, they like gay. Yeah. They gay.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. Both into women. We have been in situations where it has been 2 girls, 1 guy. And then another question is it keep the pets out the house? In the beginning, we had no choice. We didn't live here. Now, this is our house.
Yeah. Like one thing you gotta know, like too, like you're not doing it, like a lot of times a lot of people base it off other people's guidelines of how everybody else views sex, like, or like what type of control it has over people's lives. Like we don't view sex as everybody, so we're not gonna like be like, I'm not gonna change how I am as a person.
Yeah. Like
my sex life, her sex life, and like how we stem out is like a part of our life. Like we don't mind if someone sleeps over or whatever the case may be, because we could do it with somebody, or there's people we've done it with, and then like we're just cool friends after that. It's like being
we're just friends.
Whatever.
We've had situations where we had somebody sleep over after an interaction, and made them food, made sure they were comfortable because they slept over. Took them to work the next day. Like
draw it back in, look at yourself in the mirror, and be like true to who you
yourself and who you guys are as a couple. That's just how we are as a couple. Is polyamory an option? So pretty much
the textbook definition.
Is it possible for him to have a girlfriend or for me to have a boyfriend?
Even if it was possible or being brought up, I wouldn't want to do that. It's too much. No.
I mean, I don't think that I feel we had a conversation actually.
Oh, that was funny.
So I've always been interested in this type of relationship, but while I never pictured myself not with him. But platonic, meaning of love or friendship, intimate and affectionate, but not sexual. So to have platonic relationships. And we had that conversation and decided I don't have the mental capacity to upkeep a boyfriend. I don't care enough. I mean, if I were to have the feeling like, maybe I want to try it, I would bring that to him. Yeah. Like, this whole thing has to be completely communicated between the two.
It's always come to that person first.
Always.
Like, no matter what. Like, don't go do something and then come back and then try and, like, describe it to your partner or significant other.
Unless that's the arrangement you have. Because some people have the arrangement that, you can do what you want to do. I don't want to know about it. That's how I was in the beginning. Like, you do what you want to do. I don't want to know. I just don't want to know the specifics or anything. Like,
if you want to use the term or put a title on it, like swinging or whatever, the 85% of that is communication, like verbally.
The point is, you're a team. In order for us to feel like a team, we have to communicate like a team. We have to walk and talk like a team. Everything that we do has to be a team. So if I'm saying, like, I find this person attractive, first of all, he's my best friend. Like, I'm going to tell him I find this person attractive. A lot of our friends also believe that that makes us not a real couple, if you know what I mean. Like, something's broken within our couple, within our relationship. And actually, I feel like it has made it we've been a lot closer. Like, things have still happened. Things not been perfect. But it has made us understand each other a lot more. And it opens up we have literally an opening to completely and fully understand how each other thinks. And I just think it's amazing. Also, I feel like a lot of people have questions as to how we are going about being open. I love that. Being open in our marriage and trying to conceive. I don't want people to have the idea that we're just going around having sex with everybody, whenever, all the time. It's not at all true. Like, the last time either one of us has had sex with another person other than each other was maybe the beginning of August. The beginning of August? Or no, the end of July.
Yeah.
The end of July. That was the last time. So it's like, it's now the end of October. It's not something that consumes us. It's if something comes up and you feel like this is something you want to do or you want to explore, then you decide and you converse about it and figure out from there. So that's gonna wrap up this video. If you guys have any more questions, we are totally open to doing a part 2, going into more, depth of things. And we're just happy you guys came to watch, and I'm so excited that everybody had so much support surrounding this topic. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment,
subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend,
and all that good stuff. And we'll see you in the next video.